Imagine you're at a party and someone walks up to you and asks, "So, what do you do?" It's a common question, but have you ever stopped to think about why people ask it? Is it just small talk or is there something deeper going on? Well, today I want to share with you a powerful piece of advice that has served me well throughout my life. Never tell people what you do. Now, you might be thinking, what? That doesn't make any sense. How can I connect with others if I don't share what I do? But hear me out. When you tell people what you do, you're essentially putting yourself in a box. You're allowing them to define you based on your job title or your industry. And once you're in that box, it can be hard to break out of it. But when you keep your work to yourself, you create an air of mystery. People become curious about you. They want to know more. And that's when the real connections happen. Because when people are curious about you, they're more likely to engage with you on a deeper level. They're more likely to ask about your passions, your dreams, and your aspirations. And that's what I want for you. I want you to build meaningful relationships with others based on who you are, not what you do. I want you to be seen as a multidimensional person with a rich inner life, not just a job title. But there's another reason why I advise against telling people what you do. When you share your work with others, you're opening yourself up to judgment and criticism. People might have preconceived notions about your industry or your job title. They might make assumptions about your skills or your worth based on what you do for a living. And that can be incredibly damaging to your self-esteem and your confidence. When you allow others to define you based on your work, you're giving them power over you. You're allowing them to determine your value and your worth. But when you keep your work to yourself, you're taking back that power. You're defining yourself on your own terms. You're saying, I am more than just my job. I am a complex, multifaceted person with a unique perspective and a valuable contribution to make to the world. And that's incredibly empowering. When you refuse to be defined by your work, you open yourself up to new possibilities and new opportunities. You allow yourself to explore new passions and new interests. You give yourself permission to be curious and to learn and to grow. But I know what you might be thinking. But if I don't tell people what I do, how will I network? How will I find new opportunities? And that's a valid concern. But here's the thing, when you build genuine connections with others based on who you are, not what you do, opportunities will naturally arise. Think about it. When you have a deep, meaningful conversation with someone, when you share your passions and your dreams, when you listen to their stories and their experiences, you create a bond. And that bond can lead to all sorts of opportunities, job offers, collaborations, partnerships, friendships. But those opportunities are based on a genuine connection, not just a superficial exchange of job titles. And that's what makes them so powerful. Because when you build a relationship based on trust and mutual respect, anything is possible. So how do you put this into practice? How do you build meaningful connections without relying on your job title as a crutch? Well, it starts with being curious. When you meet someone new, instead of asking them what they do, ask them about their passions. Ask them what they're currently excited about or what they're working on. And when they ask you the same question, don't just give them your job title. Share a story about a project you're working on or a skill you're developing. Talk about a book you're reading or a podcast you're enjoying. Show them that you're a multidimensional person with a rich inner life. And don't be afraid to be vulnerable. When you share your struggles and your challenges, when you admit that you don't have all the answers, you create a space for genuine connection. You allow others to see you as a human being, not just a job title. And that's what it's all about. Building genuine connections with others based on who you are, not what you do. Because when you do that, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. You allow yourself to be seen and heard and valued for who you truly are. So the next time someone asks you what you do, take a moment to pause. Instead of giving them your job title, share a story about a project you're passionate about. Talk about a skill you're developing or a challenge you're overcoming. Show them that you're more than just your work. And watch as the conversation shifts. Watch as the other person becomes more engaged, more curious, more interested in who you are as a person. Watch as the connection deepens and the possibilities expand. Because when you refuse to be defined by your work, when you build genuine connections based on who you are, not what you do, you open yourself up to a world of opportunities. You allow yourself to be seen and heard and valued for the unique, multifaceted person that you are. And that, my friends, is the power of never telling people what you do. It's the power of building genuine connections based on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. It's the power of being true to yourself and allowing others to see the real you. So embrace the mystery. Embrace the curiosity. Embrace the power of being more than just your job title. And watch as your relationships deepen, your opportunities expand, and your life becomes richer and more fulfilling than you ever thought possible. Now, I want to share a personal story with you. When I first started out in my career, I was working in a job that I didn't love. It was a decent job, but it wasn't my passion. And every time someone asked me what I did, I felt a sense of shame and embarrassment. I felt like I was being judged based on my job title, like people were making assumptions about my worth and my value based on what I did for a living. And it wasn't until I learned to keep my work to myself that things started to change. I started to focus on my passions outside of work, reading, writing, learning new skills. And as I did, I started to build genuine connections with others based on those passions. I remember one conversation in particular. I was at a networking event, and I started talking to a woman about a book one had just read. We got into a deep discussion about the themes and the characters, and before I knew it, we had been talking for over an hour. And at the end of the conversation, she handed me her business card and said, "I run a small publishing company. If you're ever interested in writing a book, give me a call." And that was it. A simple conversation about a shared passion had led to a potential opportunity. And it had nothing to do with my job title or my industry. And that's just one example. Over the years, I've had countless conversations like that, conversations about travel, about food, about art, about politics, and each one has led to a genuine connection, a new friend, a new opportunity. But none of those conversations would have happened if I had led with my job title. None of those connections would have been as deep or as meaningful if I had allowed myself to be defined by my work. So I want to encourage you to do the same, to keep your work to yourself and to focus on building genuine connections based on your passions and your interests. Because when you do that, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. And I know it can be scary. I know it can be uncomfortable to put yourself out there, to be vulnerable, to share your struggles and your challenges, but that's where the magic happens. That's where the real connections are made. So be brave, be curious, be true to yourself, and never, ever let anyone define you based on what you do for a living. Because you are so much more than that. You are a unique, multifaceted, incredible person with a story to tell and a contribution to make. And when you embrace that truth, when you build genuine connections based on who you are, not what you do, you open yourself up to a world of opportunities and a life of endless possibility. So go out there and be your authentic self. Build connections based on your passions and your dreams. And never, ever let anyone put you in a box based on your job title. Because you are capable of so much more than you ever imagined. And when you embrace that truth, when you refuse to be defined by your work, you open yourself up to a life of purpose, fulfillment, and endless possibility. So take that first step. Be brave. Be curious. Be true to yourself. And watch as your life unfolds in ways you never thought possible.
The night is young, we go, it's strong.